So that's good at least. I bet if they do this again, they'll make it like more like a roguelike, you know? Like you'll lose items when you die. Like not just your souls, but like maybe some pickups, you'll lose some loot. Maybe they can make it like in Baldur's Gate 2 there's this underground dark elf kingdom, right? And you find really great weapons and armor there, but the armors actually break and get destroyed when exposed to the sunlight, meaning that you can only ever use that stuff in the Underdark, or whatever it was called, like the Under Mesobaranzan, something along those lines. You can only use it there. And they could use a very similar excuse for this game. If they do the Chalice Dungeons again, they could use a similar excuse so that you could have that roguelike element where you get powerful items and weapons. Oops. But you wouldn't be able to use them in the main game, kind of thing. And then maybe after you defeat like the final boss of an area or the final boss of the game, you can like ascend one weapon into like the main game. You'll be able to bring it into the main game, kind of like in Hunter x Hunter. Remember in Hunter x Hunter during the Greed Island arc, the whole purpose of doing Greed Island was like for like the military guys or whatever, was to find a certain item, win the game, and then come back, bring that item into the real world to save that guy's daughter? Wife? Yeah. But also, a similar idea is in Diablo as well, I believe, where in Diablo 3, there's season content, like seasonal content, and your seasonal character isn't able to be used in the main, like, non-seasonal content, right? But you can bring that character to the main game once you've completed the season. So all that sweet stuff that you've gotten during the season, it can become like legitimized in a sense into the main game. I think that's how it works. So yeah, I could see them doing something like that. That would be fun. Basically, they need to come up with more ideas to get people to come back and do the do the Chalice Dungeons, right? Because, like, you know, we have to acknowledge that there's a limit in terms of how interesting the content is and how they've structured it, and all that can be addressed, of course, but they need to have hooks in order to get people to come back time and time again. It's actually kind of impressive how people have come back to this game and the Chalice Dungeon content. As I was saying, there's a whole Reddit sub where people are exploring, talking about the Chalice Dungeons, finding cut content, trying to map it all out, blah blah blah. And it's to the credit of Bloodborne that there's people still doing that, despite the fact that, you know, it's still not incredibly interesting stuff in terms of like the actual act of playing through it, how they've designed the levels and all of that stuff. Ghost Lady teleports.